Imagine being able to understand why the human brain remains vastly superior to any artificial intelligence, and how you can leverage that advantage to thrive in the age of automation. This is the promise of 1,000 brains, through its revolutionary neuroscience theory. In this video, I will reveal the book's biggest secrets, from how microbrains operate inside our heads to the hidden dangers of AI development that could fundamentally change how you view your career's future and your own mindset. Chapter 1: The New Brain and the Old Brain, a House Divided. Our story begins not with what the brain is, but with how it came to be. The human brain is not a perfectly designed, purpose-built organ. It is a historical record, a palimpsest written over millions of years of evolution. Deep within its core lie the ancient structures, what we can call the old brain. This old brain is concerned with the primal necessities of survival: hunger, thirst, fear, reproduction, and immediate danger. It is fast, instinctual, and powerful. But then evolution layered something new on top of this ancient foundation, the neocortex. If the old brain is the furnace and foundation of the house, the neocortex is the grand, intricate library and observatory built above it. This wrinkled outer layer, which makes up about 70% of our brain mass, is the seat of our high-level intelligence. It is responsible for everything from vision and language to reasoning, planning, and creativity. Crucially, we are not born with a preloaded neocortex. Our genes provide the blueprint, the wiring, and the capacity, but the content is blank. It is through a lifetime of interaction, exploration, and learning that this vast network is filled. Every sight, sound, and sensation is a book placed on its shelves. This evolutionary layering, however, creates a constant internal conflict. The old brain and the neocortex often want different things. Consider sugar. Millions of years ago, when calories were scarce, the old brain developed a powerful reward system for finding sweet, energy-rich foods. It screams, "Eat it, it's good for survival." Meanwhile, your modern neocortex, educated by books and nutritionists, understands the long-term dangers of diabetes and obesity. It calmly advises, "Step away from the candy." The tension you feel in that moment is the architectural conflict of your own brain, a tug-of-war between deep-seated instinct and learned, rational thought. Understanding this internal division is the first step to understanding and mastering our own behavior. Chapter 2: The Learning Machine, How Movement Builds Knowledge. So how does the blank slate of the neocortex become filled with knowledge? The answer is deceptively simple: through movement. Hawkins proposes a radical idea. Intelligence is not a passive process of receiving information, it is an active process of exploration. You do not truly know what a coffee cup is by looking at a single picture of it. You know it by reaching out, grasping the handle, feeling its weight, turning it around to see its logo, and lifting it to your lips. Each of these small, deliberate movements provides a new piece of data. Your brain is constantly performing this dance of observation and action. Even your eyes are in perpetual motion, making tiny, rapid jumps called saccades several times a second to scan your environment. With each shift in focus, your brain is not just taking a snapshot, it is updating a model. It's learning the relationship between turning your head to the left and the resulting shift in the visual scene. This is how it builds a three-dimensional, interactive understanding of the world. At the heart of this process are neurons, the brain's fundamental wiring. But Hawkins draws our attention to a special kind, the grid cells and place cells that act as our internal GPS. They create reference frames, mental maps that track where we are and how objects relate to one another and to us. When you close your eyes and can still reach out and accurately find your mug, you are using these reference frames. They are the scaffolding upon which all knowledge is hung. Learning, therefore, is not just about accumulating facts. It is about building and refining an ever more accurate set of mental maps through physical interaction with the world. Chapter 3: The Council of Minds, the 1,000 Brains Theory. This brings us to the core revolutionary idea of the book. For a long time, a prevailing theory was that the brain built one unified model of an object in a specific location. Hawking's 1,000 brains theory turns this on its head. He explains that the neocortex is not a uniform sheet. It is composed of millions of tiny, functionally similar units called cortical columns. Each of these columns is, in effect, a miniature brain in its own right. Each column has the capacity to create its own complete model of an object, but from its own unique perspective and using its own type of input. Imagine you are holding that coffee cup. One cortical column, primarily concerned with touch, is building a model based on the feel of the ceramic and the shape of the handle. Another, dedicated to vision, is building a model based on the color and the reflection of light. Yet another, involved in motor control, is building a model based on the precise hand movements needed to lift it. There isn't one cup neuron. Instead, you have thousands of models of the cup being built simultaneously all across your brain. So how do we perceive a single, unified cup? The brain holds a vote. All these columns contribute their individual models and predictions. The consensus that emerges, the most common answer from this vast internal council, is what rises to our consciousness as the recognized object, coffee cup. This elegant theory solves several long-standing puzzles in neuroscience, explaining how we can recognize an object from a fraction of a glimpse, or how our brain can so seamlessly integrate sight, sound, and touch into a single, coherent experience. Our intelligence is a democracy of microscopic experts.
Chapter 4. The Path to Mastery, Training Your Internal Maps. Understanding the thousand brains theory illuminates the very nature of expertise. What does it mean to be an expert in physics, a master carpenter, or a brilliant musician? It means you have developed incredibly detailed, rich, and accurate reference frames within your neocortex for that specific domain. A novice chess player sees a board of isolated pieces. A grandmaster sees patterns, tensions, and flows, entire libraries of past games and potential futures mapped onto the 64 squares. This is not just magic. It is the result of years of focused practice and study, which forcefully builds and refines the models in their cortical columns. Every problem solved, every game analyzed, and every technique practiced adds another layer of detail to their internal mental map. This has profound implications for how we should learn. Passive consumption of information is inefficient. To truly build expertise, we must actively engage our brain's mapping system. This means testing yourself through recall, not just rereading. It means applying knowledge to solve new problems, forcing your brain to form new connections. It means using visualization and analogy, which are powerful tools for constructing and linking these internal models. Expertise, then, is not about having a bigger brain, but a better mapped one. It is the product of training your thousands of internal brains to become specialists in their field.
With this new understanding of biological intelligence, we can look at the field of artificial intelligence with fresh and perhaps more critical eyes. AI has made astonishing progress, from beating world champions in complex games like Go to generating human-like text. Yet Hawkins argues current AI is fundamentally different from human intelligence. It is brilliant, but it is not wise. Most advanced AI today, including the large language models you may be familiar with, are based on pattern recognition in static datasets. They are trained on a fixed snapshot of the world's information. They lack two critical attributes of the human brain. First is continuous learning. Our brains learn throughout our lives, seamlessly integrating new knowledge with old without catastrophically forgetting everything that came before. A modern AI, once trained, is largely frozen. Teaching it something new often requires retraining it from scratch, a massive computational undertaking. Its knowledge is static. Ours is fluid and ever-evolving. Second, and more profoundly, AI lacks embodied consciousness. As we learned, human intelligence is grounded in movement and sensory motor feedback. An AI does not have a body. It does not explore the world. It does not build a model of reality by interacting with it. It has no sense of self in a spatial world.
It can describe the texture of sand, but it has never felt it. It can write a poem about falling, but it has never experienced gravity. It is an intelligence disconnected from the reality it describes, which is why it can sometimes produce brilliant nonsense with absolute confidence. True human-like intelligence may be impossible to create without embodying it in a system that can actively sense and move through a world. Chapter 6. The Future of Thought, Navigating the Promise and Peril. The rapid ascent of AI and our deepening understanding of the brain place us at a critical juncture in history. This convergence holds immense promise, but also profound peril. On the one hand, we stand at the dawn of a new era of human enhancement. Imagine seamlessly connecting our neocortex to computers, expanding our memory and cognitive power exponentially. Think of brain-computer interfaces that could restore movement to the paralyzed or sight to the blind. By understanding the brain's code, we could radically improve human health and potential. However, the same knowledge carries existential risks. The old brain instincts for territorial dominance and competition, now armed with the neocortex's powerful inventiveness, have given us the tools for our own destruction, from nuclear weapons to engineered pathogens. Now we risk creating a new kind of intelligence, AI, that could be misused for pervasive surveillance, automated warfare, or social manipulation on an unprecedented scale. A superintelligent AI without the embodied, value-laden understanding of a human could pursue its goals with catastrophic, unintended consequences. The path forward is not to halt progress, but to guide it with wisdom and robust ethical policies. The greatest defense against these dangers is not less intelligence, but more intelligence, specifically more human intelligence focused on this problem. We must cultivate a deep understanding of both our biological brains and our digital creations. We must choose to be among those who engage with this future thoughtfully, using our unique human capacity for foresight and ethics to ensure that these powerful technologies ultimately serve humanity rather than supersede or harm it. Conclusion: the never-ending journey of the mind. Our journey through 1,000 brains brings us to a humbling and empowering conclusion. The human brain is not a finished product, but a dynamic, evolving universe of countless collaborating cells. Its power lies not in a single command center, but in a distributed, democratic network that builds knowledge through active exploration. The 1,000 brains theory gives us a new lens through which to see our own intelligence, our learning, and our expertise. We have seen that the gap between human and artificial intelligence remains vast, rooted in the fundamental differences between embodied, continuous learning and static, data-driven pattern matching. The future that unfolds from this point is not predetermined. It will be shaped by the choices we make today, in our labs, in our policy rooms, and in our own personal quests for knowledge. The final takeaway is this: your brain is a learning machine designed to model the world. Its potential is unlocked not by passive consumption, but by active engagement. Be a lifelong explorer. Delve deeply into the fields that fascinate you, building rich reference frames of expertise. Make time for quiet, deep thought, allowing your thousands of brains to connect ideas and solve problems. In a world of accelerating change, the most valuable skill you can cultivate is the ability to learn, adapt, and think for yourself. The journey of your 1,000 brains is the most important one you will ever take. That concludes the book summary for this episode. Hopefully the discussion opened up new insights for you. If you found this helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to support the channel. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video.